It is September 10th. Today is a shot day. I weighed myself this morning and it was 256.8. That is a 1.6 decrease from 5 days ago. So that's good. I figured it would be down mainly because in my back rolls area, they weren't as touching as they usually are. So I can usually tell if there's been a decrease by how my back fat is feeling for the day. So I was not really surprised about that. I'm happy about it. Would like it to be more, but I will take that. I gave myself my shot earlier today. It was the 5 milligrams. I kind of think I only have like 2.5 milligrams left in my vial. I'll find out next week. If I'm only able to give myself 10 units instead of the 20 units that I've been doing, that would indicate whether it's 2.5 versus 5. Just the amount that looks like it's left in there doesn't seem like it's going to be a whole serving, if you will. So I will figure that out when the time comes, I suppose. Maybe I finish doing one final week of 2.5 before I reconstitute my next 15 milligram vial and do that as 5s. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Saw my dad today. I reconstituted his vial for him. And he's definitely, I don't know why, but all of a sudden you can really see it in his face, the weight that he's lost. I'm wanting to say he's around like 205, 202, something like that. And he started around 275, I think is what he started at when I started having him take it. So he says he'd like to get down to 200 and then kind of go into maintenance. He doesn't think that he needs to be any lower than 200. I would like him to start exercising more. He is on oxygen, so I know it is difficult. And it's probably scary to feel breathless. But I think he needs to start building some muscle. He watches a lot of TV. He's not super active. He's got a weight set for his arms, like, one of those TP styles where they have the different weights on them. The dumbbells. And so I would like him to use them more. He is very resistant when I suggest setting timers on his calendar, like, every day at 10 o'clock in the morning, do whatever, just like plan it for the day. He does not like being told that he has to do something at a specific time. It's just one of his quirks. The downside is he doesn't get exercise in. When he goes to the store to pick up groceries, it's maybe once a week. He gets a little bit of exercise then walking around the store. He puts his garbage cans out, which is right behind his his garage. So that's just walking from his back door through his garage. On occasion, he walks to his mailbox. I would like to see him getting out and about more and doing some strength training exercises, because the GLP-1s, as I'm sure you all know, you do need to work on your weightlifting and fitness in order to spare your muscles, to help your muscles last and not get wasted by the medication. I am not doing weight training myself. It's totally a do as I say, not as I do. I'm trying to get cardio in to a certain extent with regard to my walks, my steps that I try to take each day. Lately I have not been hitting my steps consistently. So I probably need to pick that up. It is getting cooler outside, so it's easier for me to be outside and doing the walks, because either it's early in the morning or it's very late in the evening right now. So having that cooler temperature really pays off with regard to me being willing to go outside to exercise. Health-wise, I have felt okay. I am still on the hormone replacement therapy. I'll probably be on that for like decades, but I'll still mention it as one of the things I take so you guys know what I'm taking. I've got the lowest dose of losartan for blood pressure. My blood pressure seems to be fine these days, which is good. I don't typically get that whooshing sound in my ear, so that's good. And that's the lowest dose of that. I would like to start on injectable testosterone as opposed to the testosterone cream, because I don't feel the testosterone cream is really doing much for me. So I have a doctor appointment with a new person, but that's like 3 months from now. She couldn't get me in. I said, put me on the wait list, please. But that's going to be in December that I meet with her to see, because I've heard that she's willing to do testosterone injections. and I am quite adept at giving myself injections. I have another appointment for the Botox that I did with my jaw muscles. I had an appointment, then 2 weeks later, I had another appointment for like a follow-up, and he's very pleased with the laxity in my jaws, but I'm still clenching a lot. So what we're going to do this time is probably this temporalis muscle that's up here. Like when you clench, you can feel it in this area. So I'm hoping that by having this muscle relaxed as well as this muscle, that the reflex of clenching will just not be as much. The thing that sucks is that I have to pay for it again. So it was $350 to get these done at 12 units or 12 milligrams. I can't quite remember per side. So it's going to be another $350 to get them done up here. And then if I start doing them altogether, that's $700, man. Like I don't want to pay that every 4 months. So depending on how well it works, if we can get it to a point where I'm clenching less, then I will just buy the Botox and do it myself. I will just watch a lot of how-to videos. I've already watched a lot of those and just kind of cross my fingers and pray that I don't hit anything important. I'm not super worried about getting the muscle down here. It's more up here because it's very close to your eyes, and so I worry about hitting something important. But it sounds like as long as I'm sticking over here, it's not as much of a concern. I'll do more research, of course, before I do that. And if I ever decide to do it on my own, maybe I'll video it and then show you guys what I did. And then maybe when I come see you next time, I've got like a droopy eye for 4 months. I hope not. But that's what's going on with it. He's also recommended chewing gum because if you're chewing gum, then it gives your muscles something to do and you don't tend to just clench your teeth because you're actually working at something. And I'm like, well, wouldn't that just grow your jaw muscle? And he said no, so I will take his word for it. I've had a little bit of acid reflux going on. I do notice my food is taking a little bit longer to digest, which is good because it keeps you fuller longer. But it's also, if I do have a little bit of ice cream, and I'm not talking a crazy amount of ice cream here, but if I have a little bit of ice cream, it sits in my system and ferments for a lot longer. And I am somewhat lactose intolerant or lactose sensitive. So that part's not great because then I'm having to deal with the fallout for longer. I also have recently switched to an actual psyllium husk. You know, we've talked about constipation issues before, how it's a side effect that almost all GLPs, GLP-1s have is the constipation. And I've been taking, it's like the Kroger version of Benefiber. I did not realize that it wasn't psyllium husk. I thought it was psyllium husk. And in fact, it is wheat dextrin. So they're both supposed to be bulking agents to help you go to the bathroom. But I wasn't really getting any relief from it, you know, without using like an actual laxative. So I was watching these YouTube videos and they kept talking about how you have to drink psyllium husk very quickly because otherwise it turns into like a sludgy, slurry type of a thing. And I'm like, mine never does that. So then that's when I figured out after a while that I was using wheat dextrin and not psyllium husk. So I bought some psyllium husk on Amazon. I've used that for the last 3 days now. I am not a fan of the texture. It reminds me of a very watery cream of wheat or the texture of like a runny applesauce without the delicious apple flavor. The flavor itself isn't too off-putting. It's a little grainy flavor, you know, like I don't know if it's kind of like bran maybe, a little weedy. I don't really know how to explain it. It's not gross. It's just not something that I typically eat. So I'm not used to that flavor profile. But mainly it's the texture that gets me. I have probably about that much water and just 1 tablespoon, and then I stir it up, and then I just start chugging it. And by the time I get down to the, you know, like the bottom portion of it, it has definitely sludged up. And so I'm just like pouring it in my mouth and then gulping a few times and then like finishing it off. It's a weird texture. But I do think it's been helping. So I'm gonna keep with it for like a month, and without going into super detail, I will let you know how I feel like it's working. I'm trying not to use an actual laxative during this time. I'm gonna try to just have it be the psyllium husk. So yeah, to kind of give it a fair shake. it is more expensive than the wheat dextrin versions that are out there. It's not flavored, it doesn't have any additives, the style that I got. So I'll let you know how that goes. I think it's been going pretty well so far, so that's good. Maybe this will be the thing I've been looking for my entire life. I saw Billy Idol in concert last weekend. He was fantastic, definitely looking older. You could hear it a little bit in his voice, but the concert itself was super fun. And it was packed. We saw at an outdoor stadium. That thing was just chock full of people. The grass area was completely, and we did seats this time. I didn't realize that they had redone the seats, and so you were much closer and squished in. Did not love that. Got a little bit of panic because we were like right in the middle. And I don't know about you guys, but when I have to keep my arms like squinched to my sides and it puts pressure on my stomach and side area, that makes me nauseous and queasy and starts to make me feel anxious. I like to not have anything pressing on me. So to have people on either side of me, I mean, one person was my husband, but some rando on my other side, kind of, and the seats were so small. So I had to really kind of stay to myself. I didn't love that. So I was kind of fighting with anxiety. And when I get anxious, I can get nauseous. So I was kind of fighting with that during the concert, which was not super fun. But the concert itself was great. So if you have a chance to see Billy Idol, if you are a fan of his, I would say it's worth the money to see him in concert. That being said, I probably would not shell out to see him again, just because I've seen him once. I don't really necessarily care about new material that he's putting out. I like the hits. I like the oldies. So I've seen it. I am seeing, I'm seeing the Jonas Brothers this weekend on Saturday, and then I follow that up with OK Go on Sunday. So it is a weekend of concerts for me. I am looking forward to that to a certain extent. We've got grass seating, like general seating for the Jonas Brothers, and OK Go, actually. They're two different stadiums, but I have a feeling Jonas Brothers is going to be very packed. I've never seen them in concert, don't know many of their songs, but they seem like they're good kids. I like what I hear on the radio. They should be fun. Oh, before I go, if you guys have not yet watched Unknown, a high school catfish documentary on Netflix, you should watch it. I had heard about it a little bit, so I decided to watch it last night. When they reveal who the villain is, it's not someone that I would have guessed out of everyone that they had, talked to. It was just crazy. It's a true story. It's a documentary on a true story about this girl and this guy. They're like 14 who start getting text messages from an unknown number that are basically trying to get her to break up with him. And then it just kind of spirals from there. They get the FBI involved at a certain point. So that one is good. I'm also watching the second season of Wednesday. I love that show. I think it's great. We've got 2 or 3 episodes to go before we're complete with season 2, but it's good. If you like the first season, you'll probably like the second season. A lot of recurring members coming back. All right, guys, I will see you in about 5 days. Bye.